All right, welcome to Quarantine Check. And my guest today is one of Kansas City's funniest comedians, the one and only Kyle Hopkins. Kyle, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I've been sleeping a lot, so that's been good.
This is the first interview where one of the guests has actually been in bed, so congratulations on being the first to do that.
Yeah, this is my horrible, horrible bed, which doesn't even have a sheet on it right now because I'm washing them.
Well, that's good, because sleeping without a sheet is disgusting.
Yes.
And hobo-ish.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with being hobo-ish. So it's probably been a little bit over 2 years since I last saw you. Back then, you ran one of the coolest open mics, which sadly no longer exists, at Spokes Coffee House, Bar, Bike Shop, and Restaurant.
Yeah. And I wasn't a fan of it, but I liked running it.
It was a fun mic. It was the best Friday night mic that I experienced in Kansas City.
All right, cool. I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of that place. I just worked there, and I was like, hey, can I do a mic here? We had like maybe 5 mics before the guy was just like, hey, we'd rather have jam bands come in here than comedy. Then it doesn't attract people.
Oh, jam bands suck. It was more than 5. I think it have gone on for several months because it was still happening when I left in December of 2018.
5 I don't know. It just didn't run that great. But then I went on to Velo. Velo was more successful. And it was ran by the same, not the same. It was ran by one of the co-owners of Spokes, and okay. They wanted a bike bar that's more focused on the bike part of it. And I don't know. So yeah, it was cool.
So on the day we're recording this, Kansas City is going to be reopening over the weekend.
Yeah.
How soon are you going to jump back into doing comedy?
No. I'm not. I mean, I want to, obviously, but I can't because it's not safe. I'm luckily a pretty healthy guy, but I don't know. I just don't want to contract anything or accidentally like make some older person sick. So yeah, I don't know. Like as soon as I get like honest to goodness word from like medical professionals that we can do stuff again, that's when I want to go out. So right now I'm just having to like find new ways to do comedy.
I had Spencer on the show last week, and he told me you are doing a ton of online mics.
Yeah. I've done a couple online shows. I guess they're kind of mics because it's just us screwing around and it's free. But yeah, like online shows, me and Spencer have put together like about 4 or 5 of them. And then I did one for charity mic. My video got deleted.
Why?
I was a little too crass for a charity event.
That sucks.
Which is fine. Oh no, I still made the people that ran it laugh a lot, so they enjoyed it. But I pissed off some family with small kids. And I'm like, well, it is a comedy show after 9:00, so maybe.
That sucks. There should be no restrictions on any of the online mics, except for racism.
Yeah. And I don't do any of that stuff. I don't know. Most of the time I hover around like light R to PG-13. So yeah.
You did one of my favorite jokes. I mean, I have lots of favorite jokes, but the one where you talked about things being literal on paper.
Oh yeah.
I love that joke, and I must have heard you tell it like 100 times, and it's one of my favorites. I just want to put that out there.
Thank you.
Hopefully, it's still in your set.
I don't think it has been, but like, the good thing about quarantine is I do get to go through all my old notes and be like, oh, why'd I stop doing this, or why'd I stop doing that? Yeah. And I can be like, oh, well, I can turn this into something again.
That's the way comedy is. You always find that one old joke, and you're like, if I combine it with this one or add a new tag to it,
yeah,
certainly it has new life. Let's talk about why you started doing comedy.
Well, I do have a pretty classic story. I did try to off myself, and it was the darkest point in my life, and I was just like, let's do the thing I've always wanted to do. So eventually I tried it, and I did really bad, and I wanted to end myself more, but I was just like, no, let's just keep pushing and pushing. And now I've just been doing it for, well, I guess you can't count right now as comedy time, but, well, I guess you could, but yeah, 6 years in August.
Wow, 6 years.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive. Where was your first mic at?
My first mic was actually at a coffee house in Independence.
Okay.
And I went with a friend. There was a friend that called me the night I was trying to off myself. He called me, and he kind of saved me, because he was just like, hey, you want to do a mic tomorrow? And I was like, yeah, that sounds good. That sounds better than what I'm trying to do. So,
well, I'm glad he called you.
Yeah. So like, we went to this coffee house that mostly does poetry, and they were like, we told them, hey, I know you guys do poetry, but could we do some comedy up here? And they were like, oh, how much time do you want to do? Like 15 minutes, 20 minutes?
Oh no.
We're brand new. Oh, except for him, he's done like a few. And like, I'm like, oh, I don't know, man. I'll probably walk myself off after like a little bit. And my friend was like, yeah, we'll take the 15. So I walked off the stage practically in tears after 2 minutes, because I was doing horrible. Like, I also had really bad residual mumbling issues from not taking speech therapy very seriously. So yeah, it was just not a good time for anybody.
But hey, at least you got through that first 2 minutes.
Yeah.
How much material did you already have written, or did you just do everything on the fly?
I wrote everything I wanted to write, and being like, being silly, I was just like, oh man, yeah, I got like 10 minutes here. I could probably push it to like 30. Like, I had no idea how any of this works. And now, yeah.
Everyone does that when they first start.
Yeah.
You think you have that golden 15 minutes, you have maybe a minute of good material.
Yeah.
So, all right, so you did that, Mike. How long was it until you went back on stage?
It was actually just that weekend. We started going to Jeff Onyx's mic. You know Jeff Onyx?
I actually never met the guy.
He's pretty bad news bears.
I've heard that. That.
And we went to his mic about 3 times before somebody was just like, hey, Kyle, there's a thing called Google. And there's this place that exists called Kansas City. And maybe you should go there. And then I went to Arts Bar. And yeah, um, Arts Bar was fun. I got to bomb in front of real people, so that was always fun. And it was like a lot of the older comics. They would watch me, and occasionally they would sit up closer and like actually listen to me because I was still mumbling really bad. And one of them was like, "You're actually writing some fairly decent stuff, but you're mumbling a lot." So they actually helped me with diction and just watch some like diction stuff on YouTube. Maybe it'll help you, and it definitely did help me. So um, yeah, I had to basically teach myself therapy stuff that I've been avoiding for forever.
That's kind of cool how comedy has helped you overcome some of the issues that you had.
Yeah.
Um, you talk about on stage that you do have Asperger's. How has Asperger's played into your comedy?
Oh, big time. It's helped. I think it's helped because it makes me hyper focus on little things, which is always good for comedy and writing longer bits. And like I do talk about it on stage. Talk about it on stage. I think it's just been overall a good thing talking about it, because if I wasn't talking about it, I think I would be like a little bit misunderstood on stage.
I don't think you remember the first time we met, or the first time I actually saw you was at the Arts Bar, the second time I ever did comedy in Kansas City. And I thought your set was hilarious.
Oh, thanks.
And I think it would be like another month or two before I actually talked to you. But
Yeah.
and I gotta tell you, I missed the Arts Bar. When I heard it shut down, I was like, that's a big part of my comedy history and a lot of Kansas City comedy history.
Yeah. It was the hub. Like everyone that does comedy, whether they do comedy a lot or barely, comes out once in a while, it's the place where you would always see literally everyone.
Yeah, the Monday night mic there was, I'm just gonna say it, it's my favorite mic in comedy.
Yeah.
No place that I've been since has compared to that.
Yeah, it's the best. Rhino is like the second place for me. Rhino's pretty great, but yeah, hopefully you can come back and see Rhino sometime.
My plan, me and a buddy, we're gonna come to Kansas City over the summer and hopefully do a bunch of shows out there. But we'll see how this pans out. I don't think it'll be comedy until September, at least here in Michigan.
Yeah, September is my guess. I know the second wave's coming. Pandemic second wave is coming, especially with Kansas City reopening.
So
I'm hoping.
I think it's probably already here. I was at the grocery store yesterday, and there was a woman refusing to wear a mask, smoking cigarettes, and throwing them on the parking lot ground and just yelling. I'm like, you're the reason coronavirus is still in existence, because you are not practicing any safety measures whatsoever.
Yeah, like I finally have a mask thanks to Spencer. He gave me he has his girlfriend's sister is an artist, and she made cloth masks that you can actually put like a little paper towel filter in. So it's obviously not N95 or anything, but it's a good mask. And like I don't go out a ton, but when I do, it's just like it's either to Quick Trip or better grocery stores, because Sunfresh is terrible.
Yeah,
people shouldn't go to Sunfresh.
No, I can't remember the grocery store I used to go to up there. I thought it was really good. It's going to piss me off.
Nature Zone?
No, it was one of the major ones.
Costantino's?
No, not Constantino's. It's gonna bug me. It was over in North Kansas City. Fudge, I can't remember. It was one of the major chains out there.
Sprouts?
No, we have no.
Okay, all right. Well,
It'll occur to me after this is we're done recording. So,
okay.
what were your goals for 2020?
My goals for 2020 was sadly all dashed. My goals for 2020, I wanted to record a half hour.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I wanted to record a half hour. I didn't even have the money for it, but I'm just like, I want to do this. And I was going to like work my ass off at the Segway shop. That's my main job. And just get all the money I need to just do it. And then like, you know, sell it online for like $10, I guess.
Have you been touring at all?
No. Well, you know, I think you might know, but my situation is I have no car.
Right.
Me and Spencer were going to go on like a little trip through Denver and Nebraska and Arkansas and Nebraska and all that, but that got
Yeah, I haven't done any major touring, just a few festivals. But what I think has been weird is how this past 2020 has been the year that I've run into more Kansas City comedians than I have since I left.
Mm-hmm.
I just did a show back in January with Celeste, Sean Brennan, and Ben Huseman.
Yeah.
And then I was supposed to be on a show with Aaron Naylor, but that got postponed until November.
Mm.
So
Naylor's a good dude.
He's one of my favorite comics. Like I was in Columbia, South Carolina last year, and one of the comics found out that I used to live in Kansas City. He's a good friend with Aaron Naylor, and I'm like, huh. So Aaron is the center point of the entire country's amateur comedy scene.
Yes, he's our shiny golden boy.
So you were tour. You were going to record an album. Do you think you still might do it later this year? Put it off to next year.
Probably pull it off to next year, just because you know, again, the best thing about all this is I'm like, I was looking over my notes and I'm like, I was gonna put these jokes on an album, and now I can be like, oh, let's rethink some of this stuff and let's work harder. I want to do like a couple months of solid mic hitting before I get it all finalized and put it on the album.
Okay, that's cool. I do want to talk about something else, and you kind of came out on stage.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that, because that's a huge thing in someone's life, and you brought it out to everybody.
Yeah.
What made you want to come out on stage? And first of all, we're all happy you did. So
yeah, it's been bugging me for a good long while. I felt like I wasn't being honest, and as a comedian, you're supposed to be as honest as possible. So I felt like I was lying. I even had some jokes about like, I even had some like, you know, jokes about like dating women, and I wish I could go back and be like, you know, dating those women with their huge cocks. But yeah, like I was just like, why am I being afraid to be more honest on stage? I need to be more honest. I come from a fairly conservative religious family, so they never come to the mics, but I came out, and then like about like two or 3 weeks later, I finally came out to my family at the ripe old age of 35. And I was just like, look, this is me. Yeah.
While it's awesome that you did, but you also got a lot of good jokes out of it too.
Yes. Like I wrote like a whole like 10 minutes right after it came out. Like I was just like, it's like, oh, I can finally make these jokes.
The bar and grill joke is still.
That I want to give credit. That one is actually sort of help. The one person who actually helped me write that one was actually Colby, because after I went up doing my queer material at the Art Spot for the first time, this other comic came up and he started making fun of me because he's just like a big piece. I don't want to say comic. It's just, you know how it's an open mic, so there's always just like some guy going up.
Yep.
But like, because we never saw from him again. But like, he started making fun of me and doing these fag jokes and stuff. And he was horribly unfunny. And then Colby goes up after him and he starts doing his usual stuff. But then he says like, I want to talk about that guy that was up here. I'm not going to scream the whole time, but he was like, I'm going to talk about that guy. He was like, Kyle didn't come out of a bar. He came out of bar and grill. And I was just like, oh, I love that line. Can I use it? And he said, sure, buddy. So, yeah.
Colby's awesome.
Yeah.
He runs, I should point out, he runs a great mic, Shut Up and Clap, at the Mock.
Yes.
And right now you can find that online every Thursday. And
yeah, that's a really good show. It's been a fun show. It's been pretty laid back. I'm glad he's not trying to make people do straight stand-up on it, which I've tried to do straight stand-up like at the shows I've done, because it's just for a general Facebook crowd. I've been like way more silly than I am on stage and just doing more character type stuff mixed in with some of my jokes. So yeah.
When I host an open mic and I just do my straight material just to get the show rolling.
Yeah.
But on some of the other open mics I've done, I've just been fucking around.
Yeah.
Because it's still weird to me.
Oh yeah, it's weird, but I don't know. Like I've been happy that I've been trying to push myself to do different outlets. I've been trying to make some videos and stuff. I have an idea for like a solo sketch project that I want to do with me as all the characters.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So let's go on. What comedians influence you?
One of my big ones, he's now my favorite comic, is Sam Talent.
Oh, he's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Patton Oswalt and David Cross have always been like two of my big faves, but I made a determination about a year and a half ago that Sam Talent is my favorite comedian. But yeah, and also sort of Rodney Dangerfield inspires me.
Okay.
For one of his reasons is he started at about 29, but he quit for like 10 years and he came back at 39.
I thought he came back at 50. I could be wrong.
No, he came back at 39. He didn't hit it big until 50.
Okay.
According to a documentary I watched about him. But yeah, he didn't really hit it big until 50. So yeah, he's always been a big inspiration, especially since I started at 32, which I was just like, I missed the chance, blah, blah, blah. But I was still be like, gonna try. Like, I remember getting made fun of for being an old man for a little while until I realized how much of a Peter Pan complex I have.
Man, I didn't start until my 40. So
that's cool. I know people that didn't start until their 40s. I know you know a guy that didn't start until 60s.
Actually, I did have him on the show, and I haven't released that episode yet. We're talking about David Scott, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy is. I love David.
I'm not sure if it was 60s or 70, but yeah, he started. He started about the time I started, which was fun.
He is. I love his stuff.
Yeah.
I was very happy when he released his album.
Yeah. He's also one of the like best audience members in our scene too.
But he's not just the best audience member, he's the best cheerleader. I would love him at a mic because he would message me notes on my jokes. And
he does that for like almost everybody, or probably everybody. But yeah, like he'll message you the next day and just be like, "Hey, I like this joke."
Yeah, he is. I actually still send him videos that I do just to get that the David Scott approval, or telling me what doesn't work. Let's see. What is your favorite venue currently in Kansas City? Well,
probably my venue is probably Rhino.
Okay.
Although, there's always Mockingbird. Barrel of the Bottoms is really good. Barrel of the Bottoms is homegrown and built by Stephen Taylor.
Yep.
It's the weirdest venue we have because it's 3 flights of stairs to get to a weird little room, but it's awesome.
Those are the best places for comedy.
Yeah.
Like I host a show in the basement of a comic book store, and every month up until, we went on hiatus, we've just been packing the place in. And
yeah.
the best part is you have an audience there that's just there to see comedy.
Yep.
The scene has certainly changed. Is the Red Front still around?
Red Front's still around. I think it's currently being ran by Nick Scott.
Okay.
Yeah. It's still a mob-owned place.
Oh, that place was mob-owned?
Yeah, that place is mob-owned.
I had no idea.
That
explains a lot.
Yeah.
I remember I was there once for an open mic. I got there early, and there was a hooker inside giving some guys a show.
Mm-hmm.
She ended up flashing me and John Law, her coochie. And I just had to remember what chairs she was on, so I never sat on those chairs.
Yeah.
That place was disgusting.
Was it one of the booths?
No. It was one of the chairs. There were all these drunk guys.
Oh, okay.
And she was riding them, and the funny part was she left, and another comic came in and said, "Hey, there's a hooker banging a guy. The guy's banging a hooker outside in a car." I'm like, oh, her advertising worked. But man, this has been awesome catching up. But before we go, I have become a big fan of Craigslist Misconnections. And I'm going to read one to you. Hopefully you can make a riff on it.
Okay.
So this one's from Detroit, Michigan, probably 5 days ago. Virgin, and then in parentheses, no, really. I'm a 20-year-old virgin and wanting to experience sex for the first time. I'm looking for someone to show me the ropes, so to speak. Yes, I'm a real virgin. I'm posting on here because I'd rather learn now than embarrass myself later. I can't host, but I can travel. Please be DDF, as I obviously am. If you think you're up for teaching me, let me know. Contact my personal email, kindofcutegirl37@something.com.
Trying to think. It's a woman, right?
Yep. Kind of cute girl. So
kind of cute girl. She's gonna get some attention, and she's gonna get a regrettable experience, but also she's gonna lose her virginity. So, she's gonna get the whole experience.
I think she's missing the point that we are all supposed to embarrass ourselves on the first time we have sex.
Yeah.
That's the rite of passage. We're like, I got to get better at this. It can only go uphill from here.
Yeah.
But man, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for doing this. Hopefully I will see you again soon, and I will be in Kansas City because I don't know if you know this, my style has changed considerably since I last saw you.
Yeah, you were kind of one-linery last time I saw you.
I was more monotone with some one-liners and stories, but now I have emotions.
That's cool. I've been hopping around the stage and being a little bit more silly lately, so that's been fun.
The last video I saw of you was for a charity event for autism, Night of the Rents.
Yeah, that was like 2 years ago. So.
And that was a great set.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like everything that you've been working towards came together in that set. I'm like, I was so proud of you because
thank you, man.
That was a great show. But thank you so much. We'll be back tomorrow. I don't remember who our guest is, but Kyle, where can people find you on the interwebs?
You can find me on Twitter at Kyjo, Kyjo Hopkins. Instagram at Kyle Hopkins Comic. TikTok at Kyle Hopkins Comic, I think, too.
Okay.
And Facebook as my name.
And you can find your videos on YouTube as well.
Not yet. I've privated some like ones because they were from like the first year.
Yeah.
I'm like, let's make these private for right now. But yeah, eventually I'll put one of my sketches on there, like a 4-minute sketch.
Cool. Thank you so much, and we'll see everyone tomorrow.
All right, we'll see ya.